Welcome back. So, today I will be reading a story, like always. Today I will be reading a story that is not my story. I will put the link to the story and the link to the blog's channel in the description. I recently found this blog, and they're all Platonic ships, but I really like this one. They're actually two. The story is called Omnia Vincit Amor. So today I will be reading part 1. Let me think. I will start reading now. The summary is: Natasha and your name are best friends, but friendships change when relationships start. Pairing: Wanda and Nat, romantic. Nat and I can never pronounce this word. Horace, reader, and Wanda, Platonic. So, like, it's Wanda and Natasha, and they're, like, dating. And then Natasha and the reader are best friends. And along with Wanda. So, like, they're Platonic. Word count is 1,677. So, let's see how fast I can get through this. Or how long it'll take me. Warnings: death, loneliness, swearing, it's angst. Yes, it is. This made me cry. It made me cry. The title is in Latin, which I understand a tiny bit of Latin, which like nobody ever really reads. Nobody ever talks Latin or speaks Latin. Talks and speaks is the same thing. Or read Latin. Latin is, I think it's called the dead language or something. But when I tell people that I know Latin, they don't believe me because, like, they're like, nobody knows Latin. But I know Latin. I do. Might as well get on with the story. Okay. You couldn't blame her. Not really. It had to be the end for one of you, and this was the option with the happy ending. Not for you, but for them. The two people you cared for most in the world. They would get their happy ending, and wasn't that all anyone strived for? Because in the end, love conquers all. Flashback. You were on the cell phone when Natasha approached. She was out of sight, but you knew the sound of her steps well enough to know. Even if you hadn't, she spoke first, and the voice and teasing tone were all too familiar. For an aromantic, you can have some excellent romance ideas. Well, yeah, being aromantic doesn't stop me from being a romantic. It's contrary. Aromantic, a romantic. Get it? Greetings weren't necessary, nor was properly getting up to see her. Tilting your head over the back of the sofa and seeing her upside down was more than enough in your opinion. Natasha rolled her eyes playfully, smiling broadly despite the sigh she produced. I got it before you even said it. How? Because you've made this joke before. I have one joke, okay? You've got to let me have this. I'll let you have it, she relented. And you'd already started to celebrate your meaningless victory before she continued. But only because your dating advice worked. That stopped you in your tracks. You sprung up, fully turning your torso to face Natasha completely. Wanda said yes? She said yes. Holy shit, this is so awesome. Oh, you're gonna be so cute. Your name? Calm down. She agreed to a first date, not marriage. Yeah, but you've both wanted this forever. And trust me, because I had to hear both sides for so long. Like, so long. So much pining. Let me tell you, I get it. Natasha interrupted. We took a while. That you did. But what I'm saying is, it's gonna work out. I know it. He kept grinning, trying not to let the expression drop in front of the spy. She rarely missed changes in your mood, no matter how well you thought you'd hidden them. But this time, however, you didn't have to try so hard. She was so distracted planning on her date to notice anyway. Natasha was your best friend, and Wanda a close second, so you were incredibly happy for them. You thrived on seeing good come to them, but your insecurities started to get the better of you, and they freed themselves when Natasha paused for your input. It sounds perfect, you forced. You'll both do so well together. Only thing I'll be sad about is losing the role of your favorite person. A slight chuckle followed your words, a meager attempt to play it off as a joke rather than genuine fear. As if you could ever lose that role. You'll always be my platonic favorite. Fooled Natasha enough for her to join in with the joke, too distracted again to notice the pain behind your comment. Guilt crept up on you for even feeling insecure. Natasha was trying to reassure you, as she'd always done, and she'd always been good with you. She never insinuated that a romantic relationship was beyond a platonic one, never calling dating something more. But her absent reassurance made you wonder, had she meant everything she had said before? Or were they just well-chosen words from a time without romance? Time proved that things wouldn't be as bad as you thought, so the insecurities lessened over time. It never vanished completely, but it was becoming easier to ignore. As her best friend, you were subject to hearing Natasha gushing about Wanda on a near daily basis, and from that, you got to hear how their relationship grew. According to her morning after recap, their first date was perfect. It led to more dates, which led to actual dating, which led to Wanda moving into Natasha's compound room. Still, they both made time for you, almost as much as before, not wanting you to feel left out even with a new relationship, along with just talking and hanging out in the compound. Natasha began to invite you on friend days to do the things you both wanted to do. Sometimes it would just be the two of you, and sometimes you'd invite Wanda too. Though, since the whole point was to make sure you didn't feel left like you were third wheeling, your two friends would keep their PDA to a minimum. Sometimes they try to sneak kisses and flirting past you on days when you were excitable and often ran ahead or you were distracted by the activity. Oftentimes, when you looked over at them and they were making out, you simply carried on your way and let them to it, not actually minding. But you had a reputation to keep up. So, towards the end, or if things were looking to get a little too heated, you snap your fingers, playfully indicating for them to return to the day's activity. Taking them to a rom-com was the mistake you wouldn't make again. Nothing stopped the couple's flirting after that. Being with them was fun. It took away your fears and feelings of loneliness. You got to do things you enjoy with your favorite people. It should have been enough, but the isolating thoughts came crashing back as soon as you were home. While Wanda and Natasha would return to their own room for time as a couple, you would be alone, yearning for a closeness that only seemed to come with dating. When it came to Avengers work, the missions grouping resulted from two factors: how everyone's skill applied to the mission and how close teammates were. Personal friendships tended to affect team performance positively. The pairings involved and eventually led to you, Natasha and Wanda, being the most frequent grouping. Had been pairings at first. You and Wanda, not Nat and Wanda, you and Nat. Whoever fit best to the mission. But then Natasha and Wanda had started dating, and the suggestive comments through the comms began to get to the HQ team. And so the team stopped sending them alone, adding you to the mix. You worked well with them both, and the team could count on you to curb the couple's distractions with each other. Missions went like that for months. The three of you always being sent together. You were a dream team. Sure, there'd been a few cuts, scrapes, and bruises, but mostly they'd gone by without a hitch. It only took one mission for that to change. It should have been simple. Subdue a few guards, retrieve the data inside the building, and leave. The assignment team had even decided just you and Natasha would be enough. Only at your and Nat's insistence had Wanda been added. The hostiles knew the three of you had been coming. The tip-off was something you could have to sort once you got it from the mission. They found a way to stop Wanda's powers, and they were far more guards than you had expected, leaving you woefully outnumbered. From there, it went downhill quickly. Unless something changed, you wouldn't be winning this fight. There was still one way to complete the mission, and it was a scenario the three of you attempted. You and Wanda kept fighting atop the scaffold, while Natasha snuck a few floors down to grab the intel. As soon as she acquired it, your group would back off, giving the impression of abandoning your assault. Only, it never got to that stage. A shockwave blasted on the rooftop. There was nothing you could do as it hit, sending you toppling over the edge. From a glance at Wanda, you saw she suffered the same fate. She was too far away for you to grab her, too far to have any attempt at saving both of you. With her powers, the fall would have been an issue, but they were still blocked, and she was scared. Natasha ran out to the edge of the floor when she heard the screams. The windows weren't in, so she had a full range of view to look up, seeing you and Wanda hurtling in her direction. Grief set on Natasha's face the instant the situation came clear. The Wanda powers weren't working, and you didn't have any powers. Nothing and no one would stop your falls. No one but Natasha. Her eyes lit from Wanda to yours. She couldn't save you both. She knew that, but she had just realized it. Your friend had a decision to make, and she had a split second to make it. She chose Wanda. Natasha lunged just in time, grabbing her girlfriend and pulling her back onto solid ground. The two stumbled, then locked in a hug. Wanda sobbed at a sudden safety while Natasha embraced her, but the assassin's gaze was over Wanda's shoulder. You're out of reach now, in the final few seconds of your life. Pain and apologies greeted you when you looked up, but you couldn't blame her. Not really. The value of romance over friendship was a fact you'd carried with you for your whole life, something that left a pain in your heart with every reminder. But it meant you knew how it would end. You'd always known. Despite it all, you realized that it hadn't prepared you for the confirmation. So, for the final time, your heart clenched at the sight of Wanda and Nat embracing. They would have a happy ending. A marriage, family, the whole lot. Everything they had ever wanted, and everything you'd known you wouldn't get. In your last moment, you hid the hurt that must have shown through on your face, replacing it with acceptance. Natasha was still watching. You had to let her see that she had made the right choice in saying her love. After all, it was a well-known phrase. Omnia Vincit Amor. Love conquers all. Okay. Towards the end of filming this, I was on the verge of tears. And, I don't know why. I do know why. It's a very emotional story, and I love this story. And, oh my gosh. I don't know why, but the feeling of just reading a story where you have a best friend that chooses someone else over you, it's not that it's jealousy, it's not that, but it's more of let's say, I don't even know how to explain it. Oh my god. I love this story! I do not know when I will be able to read part 2, but I'll try my best to get it out in the next week or 2 weeks, probably at the end of October, because I've got homework to get done, which sucks like shit. But anyways, they gave me consent to read this. I forgot to say this in the beginning of the story. They gave me consent. I asked for permission. They said yes. I will post the link to their blog and the link to the story in the description. And thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.